you so much for tuning in to another video by Ronnie. I am from the sunshine state of Florida, where the sun is shining most of the time. So again, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time, please consider subscribing. If you are new, welcome back. And please go ahead, hit the like button, and do share so that my video will go through the algorithm and it will end up on the pages for notaries, notary signing agents, remote online agents, title agents, life insurance agents, and so forth. So what am I going to talk about today? I am going to, first of all, I want to say thank you to all of my mentees that I have had the pleasure of just sitting and going over notary stuff, notary life, business growth, just so much of stuff the past 30 days. So the past month, I have done many trainings, personal one-on-one, in-person training, Zoom training, and it has been amazing, okay? And so I want to first shout out to those who took the time to set up a one-on-one in-person training with Ronnie. I've had so much fun, and that is the reason why I'm doing this video, because this was one of the topics, and it is a hot topic because it does have a lot to do with the scheduling of appointments. Rather, it's a general notary work request, mostly if it's a loan signing. So I often get the question of, how do you book your appointments? How do you schedule your appointments? How do you put them on your calendar? How much time in between do you need to get from one place to the other? And so I want to say again, because I know I have said it before, I started out using my calendar on my iPhone. And I was introduced to another way. And I now use Google Calendar. I love it. It is amazing. And guess what all I do? I color code all of my appointments. So let me just give you an example. What I do is all of my personal appointments, I put in yellow, like a highlight yellow, like this. Then what I do is for all of my appointments that has to do with loan signings, general notary work, that's money. And what color is money? Green. I highlight them in green. And then mostly for appointments that are pending, to be determined, pending, waiting, I put them in the red, meaning like, stop. Don't go to that one until it becomes green or yellow. So I have those pretty much in red. Then everything else, like birthdays, anniversaries, I normally put them in like a blue or a pink or a teal blue, colors like that, or maybe even orange, okay? And so that's how I do. So first of all, I book with Google Calendar. And then what I do is I book my own appointments, okay? Now, there are some signing services that like to have access to your calendar, and they can just move the signings that they give you over to your calendar, like with or without you knowing, okay? At first, they will just put them on there. That is an option for most signing services. Now, I myself, I did not and will not accept that offer. That option, I do not want. I want to be able to schedule my own appointments. I want to be able to place them here, there, everywhere. I like doing it myself, so I know. And another reason why is because I want to be able to say, I need 2 hours in between, I need 30 minutes in between, I need an hour in between, or whatever the case may be. I know how long it takes me to get from northwest to southwest or southeast to northeast because I know my jurisdiction. They don't. And so what I'm going to talk about today is basically like 5 to 7 pros or 5 to 7 tips to not book appointments like boom, 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 back to back. Now, some people do it, some people do well, and that is great. But what I have found is you do so much better when you give yourself a little bit of time. And I'm going to tell you why I recommend that you book accordingly, meaning giving yourself at least an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours in between, okay? So I will be right back. Don't you touch that dial because I am going to start out with number 1, okay? Don't touch that dial. I'll be right back. Thank you for waiting on me. I am back and I am going to go over a few tips as to why I believe that you should not book back-to-back notary appointments, okay? So the first one is unexpected delays, okay? This is why you shouldn't book back-to-back, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Why? Because if you have a client that is late, a witness that is late, or you may have unexpected traffic delays, then what do you do? What do you do? Now you're stressed, you're hyper because now you may be late or you may be late to your next appointment. That is number 1. Now, another reason why I believe that you shouldn't book back-to-back, definitely like not every 30 minutes, every hour, but maybe every hour and a half or 2 hours sound much better. Number 2 is because sometimes you may have complicated signings, meaning signings that create problems. When you get there, something may come up. Now, a lot of times you don't know if a signing is going to become complicated, okay? It can be like a small signing like this, like something very small, and you say, oh, I'm gonna get in there, I'm a boom, 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 and we're gonna be gone. I say that all the time with certain types of signings. But every now and then you may get in there and you have an issue, you have a problem. And now it prolongs the appointment. So that means now you gotta call the next signer and say, I may be a little bit late, okay? So you can avoid that by not booking back-to-back signings like every 30 minutes or every hour, okay? So I think a good thing is to push them out at least every hour and a half or 2 hours. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. All right, so number 3 is travel time. Sometimes we know from day to day, from hour to hour, from schedule to schedule, from appointment to appointment, we have an idea how long it should take us to get from one appointment to another. But what if it starts raining? What if you end up being behind a vehicle and they're involved in an accident? What if the traffic all of a sudden is bad? Or what if you have a detour that causes you to have to go another route, a route that you didn't expect, and it takes longer. That's another reason why we probably shouldn't book back-to-back with just a little bit of time to get to your next appointment. Another thing too is when you book like that, now you're rushing at the appointment, you're speeding, and that's not good either, okay? So yeah, travel time can be very, very important, okay? All right, so I'll be back in just a moment, and we're gonna hit 5, 6, and 7, and I am going to end this video. But I just wanted to share a few reasons why I feel booking back-to-back is not a smart thing to do, especially new notaries or new signing agents. Sometimes when I book, I pretty much have 2 hours in between. So I'll start at 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, and 6. I mean, that's 6 appointments right there. So if you're trying to book like 4, 5, 6 appointments in one day, you can still do it by having at least 2 hours in between. So just hold that dial. I will be right back, and we're gonna go over three more secrets in scheduling your appointment. So another tip is to not schedule them back to back because it reduces stress. Why? If you get in a traffic jam, if you are taking a little longer than normal, let's just say you had to go back to your office and reprint something, or you had to go back and print the next signer's appointment. You would have time to do that if you would book in the future, like enough time to go back, okay? Because not all the time you're gonna have all your documents for each signing. Sometimes the title company or the mortgage company or the mortgage lender, sometimes the documents and the packet or the order is not quite ready. You may not receive your packet 24 hours ahead of time. So if you have an 8 o'clock and your packet is ready, but your 9 o'clock packet is still pending, that means that you're gonna have to go and do your 8 o'clock, then go back to your home or your office to print the 9 o'clock. Well, what happens if your 8 o'clock appointment takes an hour or 30 to 45 minutes? Then you're giving yourself only 15 minutes to go home, go to your office, print, and then be where you're going by 9 o'clock. So it does reduce stress, and it helps you in the long run to not book your appointments back to back. And not only that, when you don't book like back to back, it does reduce mistakes from happening. Because when you're in an appointment and you're like stressed out, sometimes you're not focused on your notary block, or you're not focused on one page at a time. As you flip them over, you're stressed, you're saying, oh, I gotta hurry up, I got another appointment. When I get through, I gotta scan backs, I gotta try to get the FedEx or UPS before the deadline. That's a very important reason why you should not book back to back, unless you have a strategy in how you're going to do it, okay? So this video, I understand, is not for everybody, but it is for those who are starting out or for those who are not very quick with getting your signings done and done efficiently, okay? All right, so another one is professionalism. Let me say something. When you get to a signing and you're like antsy and, you're just blowing and, you're looking for this and you're looking for that and, you got your stamp ready and You're just all over the place. You're like in a hurry. Don't you think the signers can sense that? They know when you're focused. They know when you are calm. They know when you're in a hurry. So another reason why you should not book like your appointments close together is because you don't want your client to know that you're uneased at the appointment. You want to give your client all the attention that they need for their appointment, okay? Now, that's another one. Now, the one I'm going to tell you about right now is really, really important and very important. Watch this. You need time to do your scan backs if your order requires you to do scan backs. So if you have to go back to your office and you only have a few minutes, how are you going to do all of that by booking your appointments 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? Now, I'm not saying it can't be done, because sometimes if you have a mobile scanner or a mobile printer, you can stop and you can get it done. But again, you are really pushing numbers. You are really pushing the time when you are booking your appointments 1 hour or 30 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour out from each other, okay? So I'm just basically telling you that when you are booking your appointments, whether it's for your life insurance, whether it's for your general notary work, whether it's your notary signing, loan signing, be smart. Book with enough time in between where you're not stressed. If traffic is held up because of an accident, you still have enough time to wait in traffic a little bit instead of blowing your horn like this, beep, 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 trying to get to your next appointment. Not only that, if you have to go stop by Office Depot, or if you have to stop and maybe get something to drink or something to bite on, nibble on, you have enough time to do that. Like your scans, if you have to stop and email, if you have to organize your paperwork, if you have to prepare for your next appointment. While we're working, our phone is steady ringing. It's steady, texts are steady coming. And so keep in mind, also, when you get finished and you complete a signing, most times you have to check out. You have to complete that final report on the portal. So you also need time to do that. Not in traffic driving and trying to do that, okay? So these are just secret points that I am bringing out to become successful, okay? Now, it is nothing wrong with booking every hour. I'm just saying it does cause a stress, and sometimes you are running late, and that always is not the most professional way to be a successful signing agent, okay? So maybe, in my opinion, an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you still can knock out 4 to 6 signings per day, okay? So these are the top secrets, is what I recommend, and I just wanted to share them. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. And in order to be successful, schedule your appointments with reasonable back-to-back time. And I guarantee you, you will not be stressful. You will get your work done. If you need to run back to the office and print, you will have time. If you need to stop and get a bite to eat or a drink from Starbucks, you will have time, okay? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And if you have any questions, please leave it right down in the comment section, and I promise you I will respond. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!